Hey everybody, and welcome back to Restaurant Recipe Recreations. And if this is your first time joining us, then welcome. At the time of this taping, we've just come back from the Thanksgiving holiday 2020. And while this has been a very long and difficult year for most people, I hope that you enjoyed your Thanksgiving with your friends, your family, and your loved ones just the same. I'm sure that I speak for most when I say that we are ready to let 2020 go. I hope that everyone is looking forward to a new and prosperous 2021, and I hope that you found many things to be thankful for in this past Thanksgiving season. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this episode. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to recreate the famous coconut shrimp appetizer from the Outback Steakhouse. It's called the Gold Coast Coconut Shrimp with Creole Marmalade. The appetizer dish itself is a battered and coconut rolled deep fried shrimp with a kind of a spicy orange marmalade sauce. My first memories of the Outback Steakhouse were from when I was a child. And every year growing up, I traveled from the Chicago suburbs to Southwest Florida. And every time we came, my father had to eat at an Outback Steakhouse because there, strangely, was not one in the Chicagoland market. And so some of my favorite memories of the Outback Steakhouse were from when I was a little girl and eating in the Tampa and Sarasota locations with my dad. So because they are an Australian-themed steakhouse, they like to use different buzzwords and Australian-themed words on their menu, like kookaburra, shrimp on the barbie. So this appetizer is called their Gold Coast Coconut Shrimp. And Gold Coast refers to the coastal city in Queensland, Australia. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to teach you how to recreate the Outback Steakhouse Gold Coast Coconut Shrimp with Creole mustard. Blah, that's a lot of words. But before we get started, I would like to ask that if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, hit the like button because it does help this channel. It helps me bring you free content and show you how to recreate the most popular dishes from the most popular restaurants. And it also helps me to know what my viewers are interested in. I do have a goal, and my goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we got to get to work. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified of all of my upcoming episodes as well. If you have a restaurant or if you have a recipe that you would like me to feature in one of my upcoming videos, then pop that in the comments section and I will for sure take a look at it. I'll research it and I will come back and present it to you. But if you hit that notification bell, you'll know that your episode is coming up. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by making the Creole marmalade because the shrimp is fried, and once you fry the shrimp, you're going to want to eat it right away. So you're going to want this sauce to be right there at the ready to go for dipping. And in the amounts that I'm showing you, this is enough dipping sauce for 24 or obviously 2 dozen coconut fried shrimp. So we're going to start with 1/4 cup of honey. Next, we're going to do 1/4 cup of Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. Grey Poupon is nice because it has a little bit of white wine in it, which gives it that nice kick. 1/2 cup of jarred orange marmalade. You can get that in any grocery store. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper. The cayenne gives it a little bit of a kick. And then about 3 or 4 shakes of just regular Tabasco, which gives the Creole marmalade its Creole element. Give this all a nice stir, and then we're just going to set this off, and we're going to dredge and deep fry the shrimp. Okay, next we're going to make the batter for the shrimp, and it's going to be in the style of a tempura batter. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of just regular all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cornstarch, again with the cayenne pepper, so we've got 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt, 4 tablespoons of canola or vegetable oil, something neutral. And next we're going to add the ice water. The reason that the water needs to be ice water is because the very, very cold temperature of the water makes the batter lighter and fluffier in the style of a tempura. So I have 1 cup of water. I filled up the water first to 1 cup and then put ice in it. But we're going to add this just a little bit at a time because you want this to be a nice, smooth and creamy batter, and you don't want it to be too watery. So I've put about 1/2 of my water in there, and then we're going to mix it around. Okay, obviously I need to add more water, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more. Once your batter is the consistency of just a typical cake batter, then you know you've added enough water, so go ahead and dump out the rest of the water and the ice if necessary. This ended up being about 1 cup of water to get this consistency. But then the next thing you want to do is make sure that it's all well incorporated to get all of the clumps out. You don't want any of the flour or cornstarch lumps. So you're looking for just a nice, smooth, creamy batter. To batter and coconut the shrimp, we're going to do it like in an assembly line. So I have here 24 wild-caught Argentinian shrimp that have been peeled and deveined, but I did leave the tails on because these are an appetizer, so they're meant to be eaten with your fingers, and that's just the easiest way. In my opinion, it's always best to only use wild-caught shrimp. They taste better, and nutritionally they're better for you as well. So 24 peeled and deveined, tail-on shrimp. We're gonna go ahead and dip them in the batter. You're gonna get your hands dirty, but it's just the easiest way to do it. Make sure that the shrimp are nice and coated in the batter. Then we're gonna roll them in 2 cups of shredded coconut. Make sure you get a nice coating with the coconut, and then just set them off to the side. This is the fun part. This is the playing with your food part. Rolling them around in the coconut, nice. And then I'm just laying these on a sheet tray off to the side here until we are ready to fry them. With my pan on high, I have enough oil in the bottom of my pan to just about submerge the shrimp. Once the oil gets to 350 degrees, we're going to drop in the shrimp carefully, just a few at a time. You can see the oil start to change color a little bit, and that's how you know that it's heating up. One great way to know if your oil is hot enough is to take a little bit of the coconut and carefully dip it in. If it starts to sizzle right away, then you know that your oil's hot enough, and this is definitely sizzling. So I'm going to take that coconut out so it doesn't burn, and I'm going to carefully drop the shrimp in one at a time. I have set off to the side something to drain the shrimp with. So I have a paper plate with a little piece of paper towel on it, so that when the shrimp come out of the oil, we're going to go ahead and set them onto this paper towel to absorb some of that oil. And we're going to let each shrimp go about 3 minutes. You don't want to play around with them too much because you don't want to knock off all that beautiful tempura batter and the coconut. But once you can see the coconut start to get a nice golden brown, you know that they're done. And we'll take these out of the oil, put them on the paper plate, and then put a new batch in. The shrimp do cook quickly, so you want to keep an eye on it, but needless to say, when you're dealing with deep frying, you want to be very, very careful. This definitely requires a little finesse, but that's why they're so good. So here I am filming the California Pizza Kitchen Mexican street corn. I hope I haven't lost you. But earlier in my day, I was also filming the episode that you're in right now, which is the Outback Steakhouse Gold Coast coconut shrimp. And I realized that I forgot to mention something about the frying, so I figured that I would just circle back around and mention it now, and then I'll just edit it in. And that way, I can get a little cross promotion out of it too, right? But anyways, what I wanted to say about the deep frying is that the trickiest part of that whole dish is deep frying. I know that people sometimes are a little bit uneasy about deep frying in their home, and for good reason. I mean, it can be a little bit tricky. You definitely have to pay attention. You kind of have to know what you're doing. And if you prefer to air fry the coconut shrimp, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Like I said, I completely understand why you would want to. It's less messy, it's less calories, it's less cleanup. But what I need to show you is how the restaurant does it, because I want it to be the closest version to the original restaurant recipe that you're going to get. And of course, at the restaurant, they deep fry the shrimp. So that's the way that I want to present it to you. But again, if you prefer to air fry it, then do that. No harm, no foul. Everybody's happy. Okay, so I'll see you in the California Pizza Kitchen Mexican street corn episode, right? Hop on over. Hit the like button. So that's it. Once you're done with the frying, you're going to want to eat these right away. So you take them out of the oil, you put them on the paper plate with a paper towel, and you just allow them to drain for a little bit, and then plate them up, put your sauce on the side, and you have this perfect Gold Coast coconut shrimp appetizer. You've got the tails on them still, so they're easy to eat and delicious. I feel like I'm in Australia already. Well, at least I feel like I'm eating in an Outback Steakhouse. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy all of my videos. Don't forget to check out my Steakhouse playlist for other ideas on delicious steakhouse recipes that you can create in your own home. And I'll see you back here again soon, everybody. But until I do, have an awesome day. Cheers. Love y'all.